example where somebody's expressed interest and puts a term sheet down and tries to get a term sheet signed with the no shop, but they've got so many outs, so many ways to get out of the deal, and it's clear to us that they're not committed to go forward with the deal yet. And in those situations, we just say, look, let's keep talking, keep doing your diligence. Come to us when you're ready to get this deal done, and then we'll sign an LOI and we'll sign it for the no shop.
Well, you usually know which companies might use your technology, your people, that sort of thing. And pre-no shop, obviously, what's the best way to start multiple and maybe competitive conversations with potential buyers?
Well, there's a couple of ways. One is the way I described previously, which is essentially the dynamics where you've already built these relationships. So when somebody expresses some interest in you, you can quickly call a handful of other firms. So that's one approach. Another approach, if you're an aggressive entrepreneur that's comfortable picking up the phone and calling some folks, is you can call some people that you think might be on that natural acquirer list, without having to necessarily have that previous relationship with them, or use your network to try to get to some of those folks. Another approach is to hire an investment banker, depending on the size of the deal, especially if the deal is a larger one. Investment bankers can often be very helpful in generating competition on the buy side in terms of getting you in front of other potential acquirers when things spin up. The thing I would encourage people not to do is overplay their hand. If you only have one company that's really working on buying your company, to give them a sense that there's lots of other people involved in a direct way often will backfire on you. I have a pretty simple rule of thumb, which is I'll never lie in a negotiation. I believe that once you have been caught in a lie in a negotiation one time, you lose all your credibility in any negotiation with anyone who ever has heard that you've lied in a negotiation. I've been on the receiving end of lots of lies, especially from people in companies, where they're, I would say that the two places you see them the most are from corp dev people and from lawyers representing an acquirer. And people will say, wait, I didn't lie, I just didn't tell the whole truth, or I misrepresented the situation a little bit, or it was a white lie, or I just didn't really sort of describe the whole. It's bullshit. Like, you get these things that are clearly the person has told you something that is not true. You catch them in it. If you confront them with it, and they don't own it as the acquirer, then it's very hard to negotiate with that person. It's very hard to negotiate with somebody who retrades you. In other words, they say, here's what we're going to do, and then 2 weeks later they say, well, we're changing that to this now. If they can't make it, sometimes things change, but if the explanation is because we could, or because we just decided to, or because you were in a blah 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 where blah 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 is kind of noise, doesn't have any correlation to reality. That's a difficult situation to be in, and acquirers who do lie or who are deceitful in their deal process tend to behave that way. Interestingly, your lawyer, if it's an experienced deal lawyer, will tend to know the deal tone or the deal style of the acquirer. They'll probably have worked and done deals with that firm before, so they'll know going into it what you should expect. That's true of investment bankers as well. And it's often the individual person or people you're dealing with in the acquirer, not necessarily representative of the acquirer. So you may have somebody in a very large company on the business side who's amazing to work with, and the deal starts to come together, and all of a sudden you get tossed into the legal and corp dev process, and the legal and corp dev people are miserable to deal with. That happens, and being ready for that as an entrepreneur is important, because sometimes you find yourself in that situation. Doesn't mean you can't get to a good outcome, but it means that the process may be harder than it needs to be. The tactics that you're going to use may be different, and you're going to have to be ready for some things